Word up, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, and welcome to Late Night Live number 64. 64? Is it 64? Last week messed me up with the whole crashing of the ink and everything. What's going on, Marilyn? Welcome. What up, Oja Swinny? How's it going? Good morning, Mike. Hey, Rose. Right on, so many people. What up, Hody? Okay, I need to breathe. Same as last week, I just got home from teaching. Oh, good evening, Diego. Just got home from teaching a couple tap classes. Rushed home, ate a bowl of cereal real quick, and then ready to jump into a live. What up, Hans? Zombie Hody? Oh, are you dressed up for Halloween or are you just tired? Today should be fun. I'm excited. We are going to, if you didn't see on my Instagram, we're going to try to replicate this piece at this size. So this is a piece by E.A. Lupfer, and it was done in 1915. Every time you make a letter, try to make it as fine as possible and by no means drift into carelessness. And then this nice little flourish at the bottom. We're gonna do our best to see how we can replicate that one. This is one of those pieces that I have it printed in negative, but in the Business Educator, when this was printed, it's one of the E.A. Lupfer... What up, Mohammed? It's one of the E.A. Lupfer pieces that you're like, that's kind of suspect. Like, did he actually do it that good? And, yeah, a lot of the E.A. Lupfer alphabets and whatnot kind of seem like they were tweaked in the engraving, or that they were, they were engraved to perfect them. But the legit original of this piece lives in the IAMPETH archive. I posted the link in the description of this video to where you can see the original and where you can see where it was printed. The original is page 50 of Scrapbook 1, of IAMPETH Scrapbook 1. And it's perfect. The only difference between the printed version, or the one in the Business Educator, which is this one here, it's black background with white ink, but the only difference is that Lupfer lifted after a lot of his downstrokes. So specifically, like, these were done very much like in Grosser script, so the bottom of the A, the bottom of the R, there were tiny little, you could see little lifts, and in the printed version you can't see those. So perhaps, I was talking with Skylar about it earlier, actually, trying to figure out, I'm assuming they made a negative from the original specimen and then went into that negative and essentially penned in or inked in the little black to fill those marks in, because in the print block, yeah, exactly, Mamed. Is it because they used to like glue the pieces and do all perfect, which to me is still even cool, because even if the letters and pieces are glued, they're still done correctly. I know in, for example, like PZ Blozer's Lessons in Ornamental Penmanship, I'm pretty sure a lot of those forms were like actually engraved, like hand engraved, so they were written by somebody and then perfected. But I happen to own, I don't know if the camera will properly pick it up, this is the printing plate for this piece that was used for the Business Educator. And that's, I was curious if it was just the printing, or if the printing block would show the little spaces. I zoom in a little bit. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. But those little spaces are not in this printing block. But one of the coolest things, and what I know that the original is exactly what was turned into this printing block, because every little like imperfection in the letter forms. For example, like, not necessarily an imperfection, but like little things, like the slight weight on this O and how far down it comes before the exit stroke. And there's like a little, like anytime there's a little wobble or things like that, all of those elements exist in this printing plate. So all of the humanness are in here. Because originally I thought, oh, well, maybe this was hand engraved. But no, this was photo engraved from the original. But the only difference that I can see is that the tiny little lifts, and they're like fractions of millimeter lifts on the bottom of his lowercase letters, don't exist in the printed version. Where did I get this? I got this from Michael Sull. He has the large collection of the printing blocks, and I was lucky enough to find this one amongst the archive of them, amongst the storage. So I figured, because we've seen the original, linked in the description, we've seen the printed one, linked in the description, and I have the printing block of it, I need to try and replicate it with pen and ink. I'm gonna try to do what Lupfer did. I guarantee I won't be able to do it as good as Lupfer did, but ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna do my darndest. And one day I want to try to actually get that printing block printed. I want to take it to a letterpress printer here in Vancouver. I recently joined a Facebook group for letterpress people in Vancouver, so I'm going to find just a local who has a small press, and I'm going to see if I can get that block printed just for fun. So then I could have, we'll see, a picture of the original, the printed version, the block, my version, and then a printed from the block, if we could do that. So this is daunting, though. This is a very, very big piece. Oh, maybe you'll get one day, Hody. It's possible. They're out there. There's not as many of them as, I mean, there's a ton of Lupfer and Zahner, obviously, because they were always in the business educator. What up, Colby? Right. Like, this E is intense, and then it continues. So this is, obviously, I'm going to have to do this with whole arm movement. The whole piece, if you are printing one, and if you want to give it a shot and you want to do it at the same size, I'm assuming by the looks of the printing plate and the look of the original in the IAPIT archive, they look to be the same size. Sometimes the plates are slightly smaller, they shrink them a little bit so they look a little bit better, but to me they look about the same size as how they would fit on a sheet of paper. And the printing block is 6 inches wide. So not the letters, but from about probably like here to just past there is 6 inches wide. How big is the X height? That's a good question. Let's measure the X height. I'm gonna guess 2.5 millimeters. Take this U. Oh, it's about 2 and a smidge. It's not a half, but about 2 and a little bit. And you can see the ascenders are quite a lot more than 3 times the X height like traditional Spencerian. They're probably a full 4, maybe even 5 times the X height. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're about 4. All right, well, I'm obviously putting off diving into this one. It's a little bit stressful. Also, I just came from a dance class, so my body's in dance mode, and I'm going to have to get it in writing mode really quickly here. Yep. One thing I like about Lupfer's shades on his D's and T's is they're not... you may have heard me talk before about sometimes the T's and D's, they're shaded with like a taper, so they go into the hairline, and then sometimes they're just 2 straight lines into the hairline. And Lupfer manages, his are straight lines, straight there and straight there, ending right at the X height. Shade ending right at the X height before it gets into that hairline. Really nice shades. Okay, stop talking and dive into it. First off, I should just warm up my arm, I guess. Let me grab a guide sheet and a piece of paper. And I'm just gonna do some ovals to try to get myself in writing mode here. Let me get camera focus real quick. All right. I wondered about that, doing the lowercase first and then the E, which I could do, but I feel like I'm gonna do the E first. I don't know, what do you guys think? I'm probably gonna do the E first, but I'm curious. I'm actually gonna do a poll. The E or the lowercase? Posting a poll. I think the E came first, but you never know. I wouldn't like doing the E, dragging my finger over these letters. I mean, I'd have to wait until they completely dried up to be able to do the E, if I did all the lowercase letters first. But I feel like I would prefer doing the E first. Alright, but let's get warmed up first. What ink are we gonna use today? A little bit of McCaffrey's, I think. We used white ink last week and it didn't end so well for us. So I'm gonna go to Iron Gall today. I did mix some new white ink because I was gonna do this one in white, and then when I looked at Lupfer's original, I figured I would do it as close to his original as possible, so I'll do it on ivory paper. You want me to do a poll on the ink as well? The problem with doing black today is I want to try to do this same size, and it will take me, I'll want to line a piece of black paper if I'm going to do it. I don't like writing things to be perfect. Without guidelines. And if you look at Lupfer's original, I actually take a look at Lupfer's original, check it out in the link in the description if you don't have it already. There are lines, but they are like white. It kind of looks like either it's Zenarian paper, you can see like a little Zenarian almost like watermark that's diagonal going across it. But it's almost like the page was lined like with a little indent, potentially. I know they did that sometimes. Or it was just lined with really, really light or white ink. I'm honestly not sure, but it's definitely lined. There are lines that he's following. Gum Arabic is amazing. I rarely use it, but I should start using it. I actually recently purchased some liquid Gum Arabic, which I've always used the powder, which I'm gonna try to mix with some of my more stubborn inks and see if we can get them to work good. All right, let's see how this poll is doing. What came first? The E is winning by 67%, so we're gonna end that one there. E wins. We'll do the E first. I'm not gonna do a poll, Diego, on the ink. I'll do a black one, or I'll at least practice with black ink, and then if that's going well, maybe later I'll dive into some black paper, or actually the lines on the Rhodia paper might be close to these, so maybe I can use triple spaced Rhodia paper and do it that way. Maybe I'll do one in black as well, just for fun, cover all the bases. But first, I need to warm my arm up because it's in tap dance mode. My body's not in writing mode yet. Wobbly desk. I know I say it every week, but one of these days, desk, one of these days. Oh, this nib is very sharp. These hairlines are going to be very, very fine. Oh, what's going on? What white ink would they have used in... So this one wasn't actually... what's going on, Zach? Is this, to my knowledge, or my memory, unless he's been lurking... Zach, is this your first time in the chat? Or am I forgetting you being in here before? I feel like I haven't seen you in the chat here before. I honestly don't know what white ink they had back then. This piece was printed with white. It wasn't actually done with white ink. But I'm assuming it would be something similar to like a bleed-proof white, or it would be like a equivalent of like a whiteout type of thick white, or like paint that they would thin out. But don't quote me on that because I don't honestly know. Oh, there's more people. So Diego is here and Zach is here. Diego and Zach, did you guys meet Leon at Iampith? A lot of people in my YouTube chat seem to think Leon is a figment of my imagination, but I need people that were at Iampith to confirm his existence. See, he did. Oh no, Zach's saying yes to first time in the chat. Okay, I'll wait till my question gets answered. Did you guys meet Leon? I feel like you must have. See, he's an ally. See Ojus Winnie. See everybody else. He's real. Leon is not imaginary. Leon, if you're in the chat, if you're lurking right now, you have the power to end this, you know. All you gotta do is type hi, that's it. And not being Lurker James, not Lurker James's Leon, but the actual Leon. Okay, we're gonna have to raise the chair ever so slightly to get this whole arm capital E going. Let's just do a few regular size E's for now. An imagination enabler. Hey, that sounds like a fun job title. Okay. Our small E's are turning out okay. I like that. Imagination enabler. That's like... It's like that'd be one of those careers like a Disney Imagineer. I don't even care what they do. Just the job title itself makes me want it. Makes me want to be one. I want to be an Imagineer. Just sounds cool. Oh, those hairlines are very fine. Can you guys see those? Oh, and speaking of fine hairlines, my little tiny nail files came in the mail. The 6-sided nail files that I use for sharpening nibs so I can move forward with my nib sharpening video. So it's coming. I know I've been promising it for a really long time, but they finally came in the mail. Some fresh ones. So I will for sure get to work on that video now. I don't have any excuses for not having it made. Really? That's cool, Diego. I'm a little jealous. I've always... Just... Imagineer. That's... If I could have any job title, I want that title. I want to be Michael Ward, Professional Imagineer. It just sounds so cool. Okay. Capital E. What is the shape of this E? 1, 2, spiral into the thing. Whole arm. And this continues around there. Brr. Okay. We're gonna have to... There's no sense practicing it small. We just gotta dive in and go for it. Oh, let me get my water jar. Get out of here, bug. You don't belong. Get my water jar ready. Since I'm using iron gall, I gotta clean my nib a fair bit. Let me put my water jar not close to the edge of my desk. I don't want to repeat last week's ink-tastrophe. What up, Gagampreet? Welcome, welcome. That's awesome. I went to Disneyland and I took drawing classes at Disneyland. They were fun. Okay. But I don't think I became an honorary Imagineer. Okay, first we'll just get the E. I'm gonna get the movement here. I knew they had the drawing classes. There's gotta be something you gotta do to get. That is huge. And it goes all the way. And I could potentially stop in here, but there's no real natural place to stop. And I gotta remember this slight accent shade, slight shade, shade, and slight shade on the top of each of those overturns. Or, that's the wrong word, direct ovals. Good question, Zach. I actually, since I started sharpening and refining the points of my nibs, I've been using this nib pretty much since Iampith. When I taught my Shaded Spencerian class, I started a new nib for that class, just because the hairlines that come out of this one, since it's been sharpened, are a little too fine for that. But, I don't stick with one because it's my favorite or anything like that, but I'll use one nib until it's basically unusable. If I'm in a hurry and I'm writing and a nib is just giving me a lot of trouble, I'll cast it aside, or as we call in these YouTube lives, I'll send it to nib timeout. It goes to a little tin or a little, basically goes in here. This is now, I gotta go through these. I don't know which one of these are in timeout and which ones are new. There's a whole bunch of just nibs in there, but it gets put aside and I'll grab another one and prep it and write. But if I'm not in a super hurry, I usually have a number of prepped nibs and sharpened nibs that are good to go, or if it's messed up, I'll tweak it on the fly. I have my loop here and a little nail file or some micro mesh, and I'll polish it up and whatnot if I have time. I did not engrave that. No, this was a gift from Chris Yoke. I got some pens from him, and he had his laser engraver engrave my old signature into the tin, so it's customized. Yeah, and what happened, Ojaswini? They get mixed up because I'll end up with there'll be like multiple stacks on my desk. There'll be the ones I'm cleaning, the ones I'm sharpening, the ones that are in timeout. And then when I clean up, I kind of forget that they're in multiple piles and they all just get chucked in here, and then I resort them eventually. So there's some vintage ones in here, there's a Zenarian Fine Writer in there, there's a Nico G, but none of these are dead. These are all workable nibs. This is usually my travel tin. It's the one that I take with me when I'm when I'm traveling. I'll bring a selection of prepped nibs. So like if I go to Iampith or something like that, I'll prep a whole bunch of nibs for the trip, so I don't have to deal with it, or I'll sharpen a bunch and be ready, so I don't have to do it when I'm on the road. An honorary citizen of Disneyland. That sounds amazing. I'm more a fan of Disney than I am of Disneyland. I think Disneyland is cool, but I like the drawing classes and the art and that kind of stuff is dope. All right, let's get into this E. I feel like I'm gonna go through a lot of paper today. I think the hardest part is gonna be really just getting the spacing. I might have to make marks for where each one of the lines are. And then just remembering to add those shades where they go. But with whole arm movement, I mean, this is a really big shade, but it shouldn't be, like, impossible. Yeah, Gangampreet. Zenarian Fine Writers, though people try to sell them for like $40, they are overrated. They are just a regular nib. Like any other nib, they're just a nib. They're not to be coveted or anything like that. Are they the best nib that was ever produced? Yes. Do I use them? No. The only reason that they're in there is because I had some that were rusty, and I was cleaning them with some rust remover the other day, so they ended up on my desk, and then when I was cleaning up, they got chucked in that tin. When I organize that tin, they'll go into a box in a drawer, but they're just regular. Nibs are just regular. They're disposable items. None of them are to be coveted, except for the ones that have the really intricate carvings and engravings, and those ones are pretty cool, but I don't have any of those because I don't spend that kind of money on nibs. Jeez, it's so big. I'm gonna have to start it higher up than I want to for these loops to feel comfortable. All right. I doubt it. I doubt they sketched it. I mean, he might have done a plan sketching, but I don't think he would have sketched it on, like on the paper the original's on. He might have drawn it out to plan like where the loops were gonna go and stuff like that, but I kind of doubt it. I have a feeling they just went for it. Okay, that's a wee bit too bright. There we go. What sort of rust remover? What did I use? I used... what's it called? I can't remember. It's used for like bike chains and stuff like that. It'll come to me before the stream is over. Okay, first, I'm not gonna worry about the ending. I'm just gonna do the beginning of the E and see if I can get a shade that big. Just a giant capital E with a giant shade. Well, that's gonna be a problem. My hairlines straight up disappeared. Evaporust, that's the one. Thanks, Colby. Yep, that is what I used. Do know that if you leave your nibs in Evaporust for too long, for like a Zenarian Fine Writer or something, for example, they no longer have the the brassy color anymore. They turn just dull silver, dark silver. Okay, so issue number 1. I'm not even able to get through that one shade. Colby's totally sponsored. Did I get a dinky dip, Rose? How dare you ask such a ridiculous question? Of course not. Full jar. Always a full jar. My white ink? Full jar. My water jar? Full jar. Dinky, get out of here with your dinky dips. What up, Micah? I am not gonna spill it. I've never had an ink spill like the other day. I don't think I've ever spilt a full jar of ink before. When I think I've spilt smaller jars and things like that. I've never spilt a dinky dip or one of my ink jars before, because they're like as wide as they are tall, so they don't usually tip over. The only reason, and this I'll demonstrate. The reason that last week happened the way it did is my jar was on my magnetic stirrer. So when I knocked it, normally it would just, you knock them and they just slide over. Yeah, they don't, whoops, I'm making a mess. They don't tip over. They just kind of get pushed. But because it was on my stirrer, when I pushed it, that happened. It tipped off the stirrer, and that's why it was an issue. And I'm not used to having the jar on the stirrer on my desk, so I got caught up paying attention to chat and not attention to my desk. Okay, we have to get a really deep fast dip to see if we can get through this capital E. I won't, Rose. I won't. Okay, that's a wonky shade, but so far, we're okay. I'm losing my hairlines though. This nib might be slightly too fine. Or my ink is just not flowing very well. Okay, that's about the size of his, right? So far the biggest difference. Well, I need to make my shade bigger, but that's okay. We're on a good track. Playing around with ink jars. I mean, I've been writing for a long time, and I've been using these ink jars always. I've never used a dinky dip at home. The closest I get to dinky dips, I'll show you. This is the closest I get to a dinky dip. It's still wide. It's the same. It's basically wider than it is tall. So the same thing. It's not gonna tip over if I knock it. You can play crokinole. But this has my ink crystals in it. But I'll sometimes, if I need to mix like a little bit of ink for something, like for a project, I have a special black ink that I had to mix. I filled one of these, but again, not dinky dips. I don't use dinky dips. Let me take a sip of tea now that I see it over there. Okay, I'm gonna try, just to see, because I think it might be a little bit darker. I'm gonna see. I think the hairlines come out a little bit darker with it. I'm gonna try Walker's Copper Plate Black. I want to see what that looks like with this piece. Or on this paper. But it really startled me when I spilt the ink last week. That was kind of silly. Sorry to end the stream so quick. I mean, I guess it was still a 2-hour stream, so it wasn't like crazy short or anything. I spent a good while sitting in the dark, cleaning up essentially liquid chalk off of all of my belongings under my desk. Okay, let's try this ink and see how we like it. Quick dip. If you didn't know, the faster you pull out of the ink jar, the more ink stays on your nib. So if you need a lot of ink for a really big shade, you gotta pull out quicker. If you go slow, a lot of that ink's gonna pull back into the ink jar, and you don't want that. At least we don't want that in this scenario. Oh, we're gonna use that ink today. It's a little bit darker than my McCaffrey's, so we'll use it. Okay, let's do another one of those with really big. Yeah, you can buy the smaller one, but if you get the gallon, I mean, stick it under your sink. Maybe you'll need it for a bike chain one day, or you'll have it for the rest of your life, I guess. It's silly to need to have that much, but... Okay, let's get these spirals nice and even. Oh, I went too close to the edge of the paper. You forget how big a letter like, how much space a letter like this takes up. I didn't dip before I wrote that one, so obviously that didn't work. Yeah, like the legit attempts, if I mess up the E, the whole sheet of paper goes, not in the garbage, I'll just use it for practice after, but... Kinda like that. That's the idea. I mean, that is not a very good parallel line. But shade-wise, that's the size of the shade I want. So that's good. Yeah. These don't have to be nearly that big, my accent shades. But let's try another one of those. I have ordered the paper that I've been talking about for the past couple of weeks. It's officially ordered. I have something like, I don't know, it's like 3,000 probably pages total with all the different kinds of paper I ordered coming to me, or maybe a couple thousand pages of different kinds of paper on its way to me eventually. Okay. My finger dragged through that. I gotta be cautious of that. Okay. But that is the idea. Now, let's get into the actual size of this thing. Okay. Now, mine is not going to be the exact same as his, because, whoops, because I didn't want to make a custom guide sheet just for this piece, so mine's going to be a couple millimeters off as far as line spacing, but I'm not mad at that. Okay, so how many lines does this E take up? If we go to there, baseline 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, starts 3.5. Okay. Let me get a pencil real quick. We'll map this out just for my eyes. If I use this as my baseline, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The E's gonna go up to there. 2, 3.5, and it starts there. Is that right? Yeah. So if that's my baseline, so that's where I have the word. Yeah, that's gonna be a baseline. 2, 3, that's gonna be a baseline. 1, 2, 3, that'll be a baseline. 1, 2, 3, that'll be a baseline. And then this one's like 1, 2, 3.5. He did weird spacing for the last one. Even on his his paper is lined, and it's different. He half-spaced, he optically spaced it. I'm assuming he did that because when he got down here, if he did the E first, if there was a bunch of space here, and he put the carelessness on the line up here, there would have been this big space down here. Maybe. That might have been why he would do that. If he did the E first, we don't really know. Okay, so as I'm coming around here, just so I know, I go around this one. And then I go below this one. And below this one. Okay. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Gonna go in pencil. This second line comes right down to there. Okay. Whoa. Jeez. Yeah, that's right. This goes that big to go all the way around there. These loops are huge. This one's smaller. To go way down here. To go there. Okay. There we go. That's gonna be our guide, our potential. I'm not gonna trace his because I want the whole thing to be created by me, and that's close. It'll give us an idea if I can hit that at all. Okay. The hardest part is really going to be visualizing. What up, coffee lover? It's going to be visualizing those as I'm going. I mean, I could do the lowercase letters first, but I don't think I want to. This loop needs to be bigger. It's quite large. Goes all the way up to there. No Lurker James today. That's interesting. He must be busy. Maybe he's playing the piano. That's the idea. My shade isn't nearly big enough. And I got this really weird shape down here, but that's the idea. Leon is not Imaginario just Winnie. Rose, can I do everything spontaneous? No. But I would like to be able to. That would be cool. I'm definitely not going to be able to do this without at least marking my baseline points. I know that because there's just way too much room to go anywhere. So for example, I'm going to always have to mark like my baseline, that one, and I'm going to see now if I can remember to go around this one and under these two. That's gonna be the test. If I can do that. I have to relax. Well, I didn't go around this one at all. I made my E way too low. But the lines are much smoother. Why is there... Who's... Okay, is that James? Who's E.A. Lupfer? Now, what would be funny is if E.A. Lupfer was Leon. But who joined as Mr. Lupfer? Well, welcome to the chat, Mr. Lupfer. We are doing an homage to you today. It's nice to have you here. I will try to do your work justice. To the best of my ability. But I do know that whoever E.A. Lupfer is, they are not a new person who hasn't been on my YouTube before. Because I would have got a notification if they were somebody new. We figured out why Leon last week, was that last week or the week before that? Anyways, why Leon, when he chatted, didn't make a notification because he wasn't new. His Google account was still tied with Lurker James's. Okay, now that's the paper. So that's kind of, I'm gonna waste a lot of paper. Oh, that's true, they could just be watching. Maybe E.A. Lupfer doesn't subscribe until I prove that I'm worth a subscribe. Okay, we'll do, this will be my baseline. Is that it? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, we gotta keep our E a little bit higher. 2 to 3 weeks ago. It was 2 or 3. I think it was 2 weeks ago. It wasn't the Inktastrophie night. I get so panicky about the spacing. Even more, so I'd mess up my shades and everything like that. I feel like he probably just went and wherever those lines were, cool. I would guess. I don't think it was a designed thing when Lupfer did it. But I mean, he's in the chat. He could let us know. Okay, relax. That was better. Ooh. Although, wait, what did I do wrong? To under. Oh, this has to drop. It can't come back up. It has to go lower and stay down here. Oh, right. It has to stay horizontal. Okay. Noted. Sounds good. I can do that. Channel your inner Lupfer. What I try to do on a daily basis. Lupfer was so good, man. The fact that we often question if his stuff was engraved or not, it's so good. And some of it was inevitably engraved, but man, I mean, they were all so good, but Lupfer was just really precise. Some could even say to the point of, like, some of his writing didn't have a lot of character in it because it was so perfect and by the book, which some people like, some people dislike. Okay, let's wipe these shades so we can use the back of this paper. We'll try to be good to trees today. There we go. Is that what's gonna happen today at midnight? Is it? It's not a Blacklight Live today. It goes into Seance time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Seance Time with Mike. Okay, we're gonna go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops, I didn't even give myself enough room. Okay. Well, let's remedy that situation. It is amazing how much space you need for this piece. Relax, 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 relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so pretty much all the way to the top. Jeez, it goes that high. This opening oval is huge. Okay. Pencil. Oh, this. When I'm just making these little marks, yeah, just a mechanical pencil. And then this was an eraser. Just giving myself quick ticks for a guideline. Yep, this is my is this mono eraser? No. This is the mono eraser. The mono eraser is really good. It's finer than this one. This is, I don't remember who makes this one anymore. My no longer has the branding on it. I prefer this one, the mono eraser, because of the thinness. Mono eraser hack, if you have one, I find that on some of them the eraser itself rotates within the barrel, and I like the barrel to be a little bit tighter, so I pinched a little bit the end of the barrel so that it would hold. It can still rotate, but it requires a little more give, so it just doesn't freely rotate while I'm erasing. So I like it to, you know, you get like the pointed part, and then I want that to be where I want it to be. But the eraser on these used to be called Tough Stuff. Again, I don't remember who makes them anymore. The physical eraser, the white eraser in them, is better than the mono. The mono is good, but it doesn't erase as good as this one, so I end up using this one most of the time. But obviously the mono is right here, so I use it as well. But this one's my go-to. I've had it for many years. I use it extensively in doing signature design and such. Okay. I guess we just keep going now. We just keep doing this till it feels comfortable. Then we grab a new sheet of paper and actually make a legit attempt. That turned out pretty good. This oval's not big enough, but notice we have the little accent, slight accent, there could be a slight accent there. I thought I added more accents on those, but this stayed below that line. So now just for fun, I'm not gonna spend a lot of attention onto these lower cases. This also goes way too far this way. It should have cut down right here, but I'm not mad at it. Just for good measure, let's... Whoops, that's not on a baseline. I've used the rectangular one, Oja Sweeney. I have that one as well. I can see it over there. I just don't... I wasn't a fan of it. I thought I would like it because you could get because of the corners, but I didn't like it. I don't know why. I just wasn't a fan of it. Here's where this loop needs to be bigger because it's gonna mess with my... I need to start right here. And I can't. So I have to bump that line forward a bit. Notice he opted out of using an ending R there for some reason. Not sure why. And there are lots of lifts in this original. You can see he lifted his pen a whole bunch. As much as I hate to admit that Lupfer does that, or did that, he did. He did. They all did. Whoops, that's not a horizontal line. Did I change inks? I have both. I should put a lid on one of these jars. I have both jars open on my desk. Just so you know, if I spill both. No, the lift, if you look at, Marilyn, if you look at the, in the Iampith scrapbook, if you look at that version of it, you can see the original, his written version. So you can see it exactly how it came out of his pen. Oh, he has a big shade on his P. Also, he didn't use an ending D there, which is interesting. By no means drift into carelessness. One of my favorite variations of the Y that I've been using a lot lately. I tend to drift into carelessness when I do my lowercase letters. Gotta admit. Unfortunately. And he fully puts a little bead on the top of his lowercase r's too. I gotta remember that. It's weird. Oh, lost the top of that line. Drift into carelessness. In sort of shaded Spencerian engrosser scriptiness. Which I'm not gonna do a very good job of right now. I will spend more attention on this part. when I do it for reals. Oh, now we have a shade. Oh, I didn't get that very centered. That's okay. What? Like so. I could have done a much worse attempt than that. That was a rather quick shot at it. But now we know we can do it. To a decent degree. Happy with those. I just gotta get that loop bigger and keep my E on the 52-degree slant line. But it's a step in the right direction. Thank you very much, Marilyn. Thank you, Otis Winnie. Let me finish off my tea and then we'll dive back in. A good book or guide to blackletter or Gothic scripts. My favorite... Oh, what is it? Let me Google it. Is Joisel's book. Is that his last name? Give me a sec. I will find it. I do not have it or I would pull it off my shelf. It's Julien, but what's his last name? Thank you very much, Marilyn. Paul Shaw. There we go. Foundations of Calligraphy is a good one by Sheila Waters, most definitely. Great. Thanks, Pinterest, for giving me a Russian webpage. That's not helpful. I gotta say, on the internet, there it is. Thank you, Older Sweeney. Yes, Julien Chazelle. That's my favorite book that exists. I don't know, Marilyn. I don't know a lot of the books on Broadpen. There are a ton. I really like the ductus examples in Julien Chazelle's book. I believe it's just called Calligraphy. Or something like that. Ah, you are correct, Zach. I mean, how this almost looks... I mean, he technically could have, if he wanted to. He could have gone whoop very easily. Connected those into a neat little cool flourish that crosses the T. Okay, well, we'll call that attempt number 1. Yeah, the ductus, they're just really good. They're good examples. What up, Mush? Welcome, welcome. Okay. Let's try again. We gotta try to get that E looking a little bit better. Let me do some of these just in the air. Get my arm used to making this shape. So that's my... If that's where I make my marks... No, that's where I make my marks. I gotta go over like a good inch and a little bit and up. Okay. And try to just go beyond where my mark is and then go. That's gotta be big. Big, yes, because it comes out of the E, which is a large horizontal oval, to then go down. Okay. It's too easy to follow the path if I'm just tracing, or to get close to it anyways. Alright. Muscles, do me a favor and remember what this feels like. Because unfortunately, the communication between you and my eyes aren't fast enough. Well, good morning in that case. We are trying to replicate an E.A. Lupfer's piece. Trying to do it to the best of our ability. Oh, and I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the stream. If I get a good version of it done today, I'm gonna sell it. As soon as the stream is done, I'm gonna post it to my Etsy page. I'm gonna put it in my store. No waiting, it's gonna go up immediately before I go to bed or before I do anything. If I get a good example of it done, I'm gonna sell it. So you guys would likely get first dibs if you are interested because you are here. Big. Make that big. Okay. If you want it, you gotta stay up late. Depending on what time, I mean, who knows what time the stream will end. The stream will finish, I will take a photo of it, and I will put it on my Etsy page. If I happen to come up with multiple good attempts, I'll put them all up there. But I don't know if we'll get multiple attempts because this is a tough one. How's that last cross shade, Mike? How to get that cross? Do you mean this right here? I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. And the last cross, so this shade, I mean, when we come over here, we're hairline. This shade, I'm turning my pen in my hand. So I'm not turning my paper at all. You could rotate your paper and do it this way, but as I've described or as I've mentioned in the past, I'm not a big fan of rotating my paper to do shades like that when I'm doing flourishing of a lettering piece. If my normal nib would be oriented this way, I just bring my elbow. You can see in my face cam, my elbow comes in just a little bit, and when I do that, you can see what it does to my nib. It gets just a steeper slant. So then when I do that, because it's not a really big shade, it's just a nice accent, you can quite easily get that going right there. I mean, if you guys want, I can wait and post it in the morning if it's gonna be too late. I could wait and post it tomorrow. I could say like tomorrow at noon my time, it will be posted. Let me know if you would prefer that, and we can do that. I think I might have broken my headphones. Oh, thanks for hanging out, Micah. Have a splendid day. Oh, let's bring it down. We don't have to be that close to the top of the page, actually. Oh, coffee lover diving into the book acquiring game. Okay. Right, Diego? Yeah, nice tactic, coffee lover. Likely story. Oh, Marilyn's birthday's on the 28th. It's coming. Okay. I gotta go over to about here. That one, we gotta go big there. Yep. What do I need? I need a sticky note. Why do I need a sticky note? I'm glad you asked. As you may have noticed, I always like to, before I write, I do these little ticks in the top corner just to get my nib ready to go. And every time I do pieces, it's always weird because I don't want to obviously do it on the top corner of an actual piece if it's going to be a good attempt. But I don't want a whole other sheet of paper on my desk, so I will put a sticky note right by my ink jar. So after I dip, I can just go on that little piece of paper instead of on my writing piece. You get married on Saturday? That's exciting. Wow, congratulations. Just saying, what is that? Now it's it's pressure now. Okay. Stop thinking about it and just do it. Here we go. Shade was kind of tiny. Oh, I didn't realize I was out of frame. But that one turned out alright as well. We're gonna finish this one too. I'm gonna try to spend a little bit more attention to my lowercase on this one. Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys on the lowercase, I guess. You don't have to be so far away, so you can actually see what the heck I'm writing. Ugh. Oh, why did that ink pool on the bottom of the M? That was weird. My lowercase letters are not as good as Lupfer's. Oh, and I used the wrong R. Habits. Ladies and gentlemen, habits. I feel like my camera is set up very far to the right today, and I want to write technically down here, but that's off screen. Lurker James is not here today. He's hiding. He might be playing piano. Have a good night, Marilyn. Thanks for hanging out. Sweet dreams. I'm gonna have to do some business penmanship practice one of these days to fix my lowercase. It's just no fun. It's really weird to me to do the lowercase d or the lowercase a without an entry stroke. It's not hard, but it has my brain all messed up every time I've had to do one. I like having that entry stroke. Try to get my ending T looking a little more like his on this one. Took up too much space on that line. Oh, and I did what I wasn't supposed to do when I came up here. Well, shoot. Now carelessness doesn't even fit in there. Damn it. Oh. See, I made the... Carelessness is supposed to go right here. And I did that hairline cross right through it. Darn. Alright. We're going to adopt a different grip. And try to get... We won't go super detailed, but we'll try to pay a little more attention than before on these lowercase letters. The E or carelessness. I mean, I think he did the E before everything. I mean, that's what I would do anyways. It's relatively easy to not bring this up so high if you pay attention. Which I quite clearly didn't do. I should really give myself a baseline for this. Gah. Yep, that ruined the whole thing. Tee-hee-hee. I'm gonna say, to answer that, Diego, yes. Just a sec. Now, completely bunged this up. Completely. That should go there. And then this should go like so. Whoops. I do think this one in particular, I don't think all of their pieces, they really did them imagining that people would try to be recreating them. I don't know if they imagined people trying to recreate them this many years down the road. But one of the places that this appears in the Business Educator is during the lessons in, I believe it was Lessons in Ornamental Penmanship by E.A. Lupfer. So this was one of the lessons. So hundreds of penmen back in the day would have tried to recreate this piece because it was part of a series of lessons. I don't know specifically, I don't remember specifically what he talked about and what he was sort of teaching during this particular lesson. But it was made to be replicated, this one. Even though I messed up the bottom, I'm somewhat proud of that one. Yeah, a lot of their pieces that were printed, or that were made specifically to go in the Educator. I mean, the whole point of the Educator was to get samples out there, and people would make whole scrapbooks of the clippings. They would get the Educator. I'm assuming that's why a lot of, I'm guessing, I don't know if this is true, but it's hard to, there's not a lot of copies, like full runs and copies of the people's subscriptions out there, because a lot of penmen cut them up. A lot of penmen clipped out because they encouraged it. They would say in the Educator to cut out the specimens and practice them, put them in a scrapbook. So people's scrapbooks didn't just contain originals and ink on pen. Some penmen couldn't get those, or I'm assuming some penmen couldn't afford to send money to penmen, because that was a very common thing back in the day. People would send the greats money for specimens and originals, or they'd give a bunch of money, not a bunch of money to us, but what would have been considered a bunch of money back then, to fill a scrapbook full of just random samples that then they would practice. But for penmen who couldn't do that, they cut up the Business Educators and they attempted these pieces. And the teachers at the Zenarian knew that, so they for sure would assume that these were getting recreated. Alright, let's try again, shall we? What up, Brolin? Welcome, welcome. Oh, I gotta zoom out again. That's in. Let's go from this top bit so you guys can see everything I'm writing. To see if I can nail this capital E or not. Wait, did I finish my tea? I did. I will have a sip of water. Okay. I gotta fix that shade. I'm not getting the best shade on my capital E. Which is problematic. Okay. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Ooh. With the exception of I did pull my fingers through that one spot. Not mad at that one. Turned out alright. Not as good as Lupfer's, but it's acceptable. And we got accent shades in. That one got a little over-ambitious, but that's okay. Do I do the lowercase letters on this one too? Or should I just keep going? Maybe I'll just keep going on the E, and then I'll do the lowercase letters later. We'll try another E, since then we can stay in the flow of doing that capital. And we'll ideally improve the capital as we go. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. Stay in whole arm movement mode for a little bit. What is going on with this nib? Okay, so we'll put that aside to dry. Can I reach? Oh, maybe bring that table closer. The wheels on my chair are too, they roll too easily. I can't pull my cutting table closer to me because my chair moves. There we go. Got it. I can use that as a drying table now. How was the shade on that E? Was it any better? Not really. We gotta do a better shade, better shade, better shade. They're pretty big. It would. But I won't try to do it on black paper until I have a better idea of the spacing and how it flows. But I do agree, it would look amazing on black. That's why they printed it that way, I would assume, or that's one of the reasons why they printed it that way anyways. I don't have pink ink. Do I? No, I don't think I do. Not bad. Kind of a funky shape inside that E, trying to get that shade a little bit bigger. This loop is too small. Wait, I don't want to just waste a bunch of paper. Sheet machine is not almost pink. It's like navy blue. I guess it highlights pink a little bit. So we gotta keep that large. And round. Round. Or oval. I'm losing that oval shape a little bit. Yeah, it's like chameleon paint. It sheens different colors. Perfect as a birthday present, huh? I'm glad you enjoy it, Zach. I mean, I wish I understood a little bit more of the everyday lives of penmen back in the day. Okay, capital E. Where is... Give me a sheet of paper real quick. I need to... Geez, some of these E's from earlier... Oh, that is dry. There's just so much ink in there. Why can't I just do that? That was good. Why can't I do that when I do the pieces? Let's try that again. We gotta relax. Okay. Well, you can do it on that sheet of paper. Why can't you do it on this one? Where are we? Am I fully in frame? Almost. Close. Ah, some of them, yeah. The way they edited stuff, for sure. I mean, they're essentially art colleges. Or the business colleges. Or art departments. Go this way a little bit. Definitely better. I did the up too high on the bottom one again. I gotta make this lower oval a little bit bigger and keep it down. I don't drop it low enough here, so when I compound curve up, I come up too high. I mean, I can do carelessness on this line and it'll still work. It just won't be exactly like the original. But we're getting closer, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting closer. Okay, I'm gonna keep this one. I'm gonna swap out this other one that I don't like as much. And I'm gonna use this piece of paper for another warm-up. Oh, that reminds me, I have to get tattoo practicing. Alright, let's put this. Give me a line there, a line there, a line there, a line there, and a line there. Okay. That's the idea. That was good. That's the best one so far. This oval's a little bit too big, but okay. Are we carving watermelons next week? You betcha. Yep. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, is gonna be a Halloween edition of Late Night Live, and we're gonna do some jack-o'-lantern carvings. But I'm not gonna carve a pumpkin. I'm going to carve a watermelon because I prefer eating watermelon than eating pumpkin. Well, except pumpkin pie, but I'm not gonna take the time and energy to make pumpkin pie out of my pumpkin, and I don't want to deal with all the goop, so I'm gonna carve a watermelon. Cause Rose, you use your knife, and then when you empty it out, you just have a spoon and you just eat it. Watermelon's delicious. So you eat as you go. It's so much nicer than pumpkin. And it works with a candle just the same, except you get sort of like the glow is nice, and the husk is like white, so you get a really good color through. And if you leave a little bit of red on the inside, it can be red, which is really nice. Yeah. Anyways, I ended up carving a watermelon, not by accident, but 2 years ago. All the stores around me were sold out of pumpkins, so I carved a watermelon instead when I went to buy a pumpkin, and it worked really well. So I'm sticking to it. And also, a lot of people don't know this, jack-o'-lantern, the first jack-o'-lantern, and you can Google it, this is true, the sort of myth that the jack-o'-lantern is based on, or the story, the original jack-o'-lantern was a turnip. Hey, Mom. I was just telling everybody how the original jack-o'-lantern was a turnip. I don't know if you know that fact, but there you go. Have I gotten into paper carving or knifemanship? Yes, Zach, I have. I was actually doing tests the past weeks with I ordered some really thick cardstock paper, and I tested it and it worked really, really well. So now I'm just waiting for, I ordered, how many sheets? 200? 400? Can't remember. I ordered a bunch of that paper. It's really thick, so it's going to take up a lot of, it's going to be in a big box, but I ordered a bunch of that cardstock paper to carve. So I'm going to be doing more knifemanship and paper carving soon, as soon as that package comes in the mail. I'm waiting eagerly. I ordered it. They said it was in stock, but then the day after I ordered it, I got an email saying that 2 of the papers I ordered like 5 or 6 different kinds of papers. 2 of the papers I ordered are being manufactured right now. So there was going to be like a 10-day delay or something like that on shipping. So, I don't know when it'll get here, but when it gets here, the carving will continue. But I have to wait till I have better card or a better stock of that card stock. Yeah, it was a turnip, a jack-o'-turnip. It's another story similar to like the whole devil went down to Georgia challenging the devil to a fiddle contest. There was some guy bested the devil twice or something like that in little games or challenges, and in the end he got punished and he had to roam the world and he had to roam the darkness, and all he had was like a coal, which is what we like the candle inside of a jack-o'-lantern, but he had a glowing ember inside a turnip as his lantern to light his way. That's the original story of jack-o'-lantern. I think it was when it came to North America, pumpkins turned out to be a good thing to carve, or were more readily available than turnips, or I don't know when it translated. But I think when it came to America, when that folktale, when people immigrated here, it turned into pumpkins. But it wasn't always pumpkins, so I don't feel bad doing a watermelon. No. Have a splendid evening, Mum. Have a good night. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna carve into my watermelon yet. I'm gonna make a post on Instagram. I'll do a little, not a poll, but I'll ask you guys what I should post. Definitely. Okay. That shade. That shade. Why is it not the right shape? It ended so nice. All it had to do was not have that weird shape on the top bit. Why didn't it not just taper nicely into the shade? Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Why do you do this to me, pen? Just shade nice. But it means I'm doing something wrong. What am I doing wrong, and how can I fix it? Fix it, fix it, fix it. What am I doing wrong? Like that one was even better. Nope. That was good. Do I need to change my nib angle? Yeah, it might be the nib angle. I've been writing lately with a nib angle that's more like this and not on the slant line. And maybe I should tweak that for this. Maybe. It's how I'm applying weight, because I'm trying to get the shade so big. I gotta change the angle at which I am applying weight, because it's forcing my left tine to do funky things. That's better. That was way too long, but shape-wise it was good. Does it go all the way? Yeah, it has to be as long as that. I should make this video on YouTube be a time lapse. Hours of Mike trying to do a giant E in minutes. Okay, those are feeling better. Shades are feeling better. Let's give it another go. Do, 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 do. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well. You know what's annoying? That is easily the best E we've done today. I think I'm gonna finish this one, but I mean the spacing is these ovals got way too far down. But that is easily the best E, and that shade is pretty much exactly what I was going for. It's just my loops didn't do the right things. They didn't do the right things. Sometimes your loops just do whatever the heck they want to do. Bummer. Oh, that's a really nice E. I'm still dragging my finger through that shade up at the top. Paper, paper everywhere. Whoa. Sorry, out of frame for a sec. As I reach for papers to dry without smearing previous ones. Okay. We did a nice E, which means we can do another one. If we can do one, we can do another one. All we gotta do is try a wee bit harder and relax a wee bit more, and it's going to work. In theory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 and a half. Cool. Where are we? We'll go up there. Okay. You know what? Let me put these lines a little bit farther over here. Speak Japanese. Io, はい。日本語できるよ。でも僕の日本語はちょっと悪い。たくさん忘れた。と勉強嫌い。I speak a little bit of Japanese. Not as much as I used to. I don't know how to say penmanship stuff in Japanese. I did it again. I panicked. Wait, what? Yeah, I panicked. Wait, what? So this line is supposed to be up here. This one's supposed to be under this one. This one's supposed to be under this one. So these two are right-ish. This didn't drop way far down enough. This is huge. The shades, though, the shades are coming out good. Learned some Cantonese. I've been working on my French lately. I'm using my Duolingo to brush up on my French. And then when my French is at a level that I'm happy with again, I'm gonna go back to studying Japanese. And then I don't know what I'll learn after that, if I ever get to an after that. We don't know if that will ever happen. Okay, now I'm having trouble hitting these targets. Why couldn't I just do that? That was essentially perfect. Literally. Why? Why did it have to be on a sheet of paper with the stuff on it? Look, nice giant shade. This big oval underneath. It's proper. That's right in the middle. These are right under where they're supposed to be. This stays flat like it's supposed to. これは悪いよ。Why did it do that? Well, no, I know why it did that. Because I did it right. Just not when it counted. That's such a shame. I'm keeping that one. I'm not gonna finish the whole quote, but that's easily the best one. Darn it. Here we go. Yeah, this is true, Manish. Well, like my Instagram post said, Lupfer could do it, so I don't see a reason that we can't do it as well. I wouldn't attempt these pieces if I didn't think we could get relatively good versions of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 3.5. Okay. Oh, that one was so good. Is that in frame? Okay, we're gonna go up there a little bit. But that's okay, we can just do it again. No problem. Okay. Yeah. Not the one, ladies and gentlemen. The E went back to funky shaped. Funky shaped. Why funky shaped? Don't be funky shaped. Okay. 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 There is nothing left to do it but do it. Glad to hear it, Zach. That's awesome. Glad to brighten your envelope evening. I feel like either some people are writing or we're a smaller group today than we have been lately. The chat has been rather quiet today. Okay. Stop thinking about it. You can do it. Just do it. I mean, that E's okay. It's not as good as the one down there. I think it might be the best on its own. Why do the E shades get messed up? Nice, Odie. Well, keep in mind that if I don't accomplish one that's of a good quality, unfortunately one will not be posted for sale. But I'm going to try very hard. But we only have, I see it's 15 minutes before blacklight time, which is slightly problematic. The is tough. It is indeed. It's not too tough though. There's no good reason why I shouldn't be able to replicate this piece. I would probably, in normal, if I wasn't live on a video, I would probably practice a lot more before just going for the piece. But I do want to, it's fun to document this whole process, so I dive in a little bit deeper, a little bit quicker when we're in the lives than I normally would, when we're doing signatures and whatnot. That one's good too. I think I'm gonna put the lowercase letters into that one. I like that one. It turned out pretty good. Shade is nice and clean. It's got an oval shape that goes around like it's supposed to. Yep, I am gonna let that ink dry before I put in the lowercase letters though, so I'm gonna put that up here. That's gonna be the one. And then just for good measure, I'm gonna try a couple more. But that one was good. I'm really happy with that one. Spacing is good. Tiny little accents. Accent shades are in the right spots. So that one's good. Add some beetroot juice to to get it pink. Yeah. So long as we don't mess up our lowercase letters, that one will be a good attempt. I'm always happy, Hody. Do you mean happy with one? Well, I'm exceptionally picky when it comes to doing the work. But yeah, it's only been 2 hours. We started at 9:30 today. But I am very picky of my own work. But you guys have heard me say it many times. I'm very proud of all of my work, even the pieces that I grumble about that I think aren't good. The things I'm trying to do are rather challenging, so I'm happy with all of them. Alright, let's try and do another one. That worked. Now we'll... Filled with the confidence after doing one that worked, we should be able to do one that works just as good. Or even better, but that one was pretty good. Shade could have been a little bigger, but... There's a skateboarding channel that I watch sometimes called Braille Skateboarding. And when they're doing something or when they're challenged and they do something, they do it and then they say, to make it true. So they do it and then to prove that they can do it, they do it twice. They do it again to make it true. They do it twice in a row to prove that they've got it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but this I would consider to make it true, because that one's really good. The shade isn't the biggest, but I'm okay with that. I think I like this one even better than the last one, but I think they're both pretty good. But it would, if I did that, Rose, I would hate to do all the work of the lowercase and then mess up the E. Because then it makes lowercase letters are more time consuming. So if I spend all that time doing the lowercase letters and jack up the E, then all that time is wasted. I would rather spend the time getting the hard part, which is, I think, the capital E. And I didn't drag my finger through either of those two, which is good. I choked back on my pen a little bit, and I went to only, I curled my pinky and went to only the very, very tip or edge of my pinky on the paper, so that I would ideally not drag all the way through, which seems to have worked. Sweet, we're gonna let that one dry. I'm gonna take a sip of water because I feel accomplished after that. But it's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Can we compare it next to... The shade on Lupfer's is much bigger than on mine. But I'm not mad at that at all. He gets his shade... He starts his shades lower. I gotta get into that. It's a lot of the penmen of the past were able to, it's this way of applying shades where they get this almost diagonal right tine coming down here. So the right tine is fully not following the path of this oval at all. The left tine is, and the right tine is sort of cutting across. And in some smaller ornamental penmanship work, this right shade, like on the O's and whatnot, is almost straight. It's not straight, but they get almost straight. But that's alright. My shade's just a little bit higher than Lupfer's. and not quite as big. That's okay. Let me grab a sip of water. Uh-oh. 10 minutes till I'll probably have to put off blacklight until I finish these lowercase letters. Which one should I do? The second one? Probably the second one. Oh, here, let's do this. I'm gonna also give my engrosser script lowercase. I'm gonna give myself a baseline for those. As long as I don't pull ink through any of these shades, we'll be good. Oh, and I forgot, he has that underline in there as well. Right. I'm gonna give myself a baseline for the engrosser script. And that line is not straight. Is it straight? Maybe my paper's not straight. There we go. And he has this underline that is also not on any of the other lines. That we'll put right there. When we put it in, actually, Manish, no, I disagree with that. My Hunt 101, it will give me a larger shade than a Jalop Principality or Zenarian Fine Red. It doesn't snap back the same, but it's as far as size-wise, what's lacking in this shade isn't it's not the lack of springiness of the Hunt 101 or the lack of ability to do a big shade. It is on its technique. What is lacking is the technique of creating that shade the way I want it. If I couldn't do that shade with this nib, then I definitely couldn't do it with a Zenarian Fine Writer. If I could do it with this nib, I could also recreate it with a Zenarian Fine Writer. But, yeah, without... Okay. Lowercase letters. The bane of my existence. Anybody who knows me knows I don't like lowercase letters. Let's just relax. I'm probably gonna change angles a bunch here. I'm gonna spend some time to try to get these as nice and clean as possible. Okay, where are we going here? Right in there. Okay. That one's gonna start in there, so we'll start this one right there. I think his are a little more spaced out than mine, but that's okay. I gotta look ahead and see which ones he shades. He doesn't shade all the same ones that I would naturally shade. I gotta be cautious. Ooh, that was a nice ascender. Whoop whoop. Celebrate your wins, ladies and gentlemen. Try to make it as fine as possible. Uh-oh. The lights are about to turn off. If they're gonna do that, I might have turned them off. I don't know if the schedule is still going after last week. Oh, yeah. Black light. Okay, Google, turn off glow light.
Sure, turning the glow light off.
Okay, Google, turn on studio left. This light no longer works with the schedule because the smart box that shorted or that controls it shorted out when I dropped ink on it last week. So I gotta get a new controlling box for that light. It stays on until I unplug it or turn it off myself. It doesn't work with the voice commands or the scheduling anymore. Okay. So it is midnight. Normally we would go blacklight live at the moment, and we will for a little bit as soon as I finish these lowercase letters, and I will continue these lowercase letters as soon as I can get this bloody fiber off of my nib. Get off of here! You don't belong. There's one like rogue. There it is. Okay. Okay. Let's continue, shall we? the Inkpocalypse. Inkcatastrophe. Ooh, too many papers on my desk. Drift into. All right, we're almost there. Now, in my previous attempts, I've made these lowercase letters. Where are my previous attempts? I have to start. Where do they go to get everything centered? Okay. Get a different grip. Whoop. Come on. Okay. Oh, do the line across here. Where does it go to the bottom of that S? Oh no. That'll have to work. Now, our last stroke. Down to there. Then we'll do Ta-da! Is it perfect? No. But there we go. That shade ended up too far to the left. Oops. But that's our piece. Okay. Etsy time. Well, the stream's not over yet. I'm gonna put this to the side to dry. It's not bad. I'm happy with that. It's not perfect, but it's a good start. No bids. It's just gonna be first come, first serve. I could do an eBay auction, but I'm just gonna do first come, first serve. Yeah, what I'll end up doing. Oh, I should have had my computer record. Meh, that's fine. I'll put a clip of the E up on there. Yeah, we're going Etsy, not eBay. No bidding. Just be one price. It won't be crazy expensive because it's a practice piece. It's a specimen, just like I am not a master penman, but just like a master penman back in the day would have sent to a student or somebody to study. I may do eBay auction thing eventually, but for right now, just a specimen, just a piece for sale. And whoever gets it first gets it, and that's cool. But ladies and gentlemen, it is not that time yet. It is time. Okay, Google, turn on glow light.
Okay, turning the glow light on.
It's time to glow, ladies and gentlemen. Now, question for the chat. Would you guys like to... No, I didn't say go, I said glow. Oh, Zach, you've never been in a late night live after midnight. So normally I'm not working on a piece, and when we hit midnight, wait, we gotta change this up. There we go. Just like how a bar or something would turn into an after hours club. That's what happens during late night live. We change the music, we change the paper, we change the ink, and we have some fun. Now, question for you guys. Should I try to do a glow version of this piece? Or should we just go into some random writing? What are you guys feeling? A glow version of Lupfer's piece? Or just some random fun blacklight doodling as per usual? Oh yeah, of course, Manish. Music, we gotta get more. The beats gotta drop. I'm wearing contacts today, so unfortunately I'm sorry that nothing in my my cam isn't glowing. Wait, I can do this. Sorry that not all of this is super smooth yet. Oh, that doesn't really make me that much brighter. Let's doodle now. Let's have some fun. Just make sure I get all the black out of my nib. Alright. We haven't done a glow light live in a while. Oh, this feels so free after doing that piece. Alright, now we'll see. I don't know if it'll work. We're going pink today? You guys let me know. We can do regular glow, or we can stick with what we've been doing the past few weeks with our pink crazy glow. Pink/purple. Feels so free. Drop the beat. Ooh, not a bad deep. This might be a little too dark. We might have to... I can maybe brighten it up a little bit. Ooh, loopy bee. Right, this is what Fozzie calls the throwing up mermaid color. Drop the beat. Let me see if I can get... What am I doing? What am I doing? Up here. There we go, our ink can be a little bit brighter. Slightly. You can't see my face at all, so I'm just gonna get rid of my face cam entirely. There's no point having it there. I'm wearing nothing that glows today. I didn't feel like changing out of the shirt I was wearing teaching tap class. What should I write? Give me a word, you guys. Give me something to write. The problem is when I wear contact lenses, I can't just wear, I mean, all my glasses frames are prescription. So I have my glowing lenses. but they're prescriptions, so I can't really wear them when I have contacts. Kalamazoo, alright. Oh, here's a question for you, Zach. Since you got your blotter, have you tried to pen the signature on your blotter yet? Ooh, that's a nice stem. Kalamazoo. Oh, it would be horrible to spill blacklight ink on my power bar. You should give it a shot, see if you can write it. What color? We'll stick with mermaid. Why is are mermaids this color? I don't understand why this is mermaid. Bluey purple or pinky blue. I'm glad you like it, man. Thank you very much for ordering one. It's too late now, Otis Winnie. I'm not gonna change clothes now that we're already here. We'll just have to survive with just glowy writing and not glowy my face. Today. Unless I can somehow... No, it's not gonna work. My camera might freeze if I do this, but I'm gonna do it anyways. As I expected. I froze my camera, but you guys can't see it, so it doesn't matter anyways. Wear my glasses on my hat. I could, I suppose. Where we go? There! You can see me. I'm pink. Or purple, pink, mermaid. I don't know. Yeah, I turned it off because it was pitch black, but now it's on. Nothing. Mermaid Mike, that's me. Welcome back, Mush. Yep, we are going. We finished Lupfer's piece, and now I'm enjoying freedom of writing whatever the heck I want. Using whole arm movement for most of it because I've been writing that giant E and my hand wants to write big things. I'm trying to think what we could also do. It's not quite as intense, but let me see. Where can I find it? The mermaid is pretty intense, but we could also, if we go normal, what up? If I go here, contrast. No, up. We can do something like that. Do you guys prefer this or the full black? Oh, is that too bright maybe? I think that's sort of the mermaidy color. That's how we go mermaid, but maybe we can see the paper a little bit. Maybe we'll go there. What time is it here? It is 12:30 in the morning currently. It's almost time for me to have dinner. I didn't have time to eat dinner today because I was teaching a class and then I came home to go straight into a late night live. So I will have my dinner after this stream. It's 3:30 in the morning. Holy moly, Zach. Oh, maybe this doesn't look as good. I can't tell. The letters aren't quite as bright when we do it this way. What if I turn this? I am in Vancouver, Canada. Oh, here comes another beat drop. I wish I had something cool to write on the beat drop, but I don't. Drop. as the Beastie Boys would say. Drop. Sometimes it gets to be a pretty crazy time, Zach. After midnight, you never know what's gonna happen. On the Blacklight Lives. Do 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 do. Yeah, it's a little bit tough to see the... Doesn't glow quite enough. Let me tweak the filter. I mean, we could just go normal today. We could just... This is what it looks like normal. Let me... If I increase the contrast and just change the color... No. Oh. Ah! Sorry! I apologize, that was a mistake. No, we don't want to change, we don't want to mess with that. We want to bump our contrast a little bit. We get our, ooh, saturation. So saturated. Okay, if we do that, and then go to pink. Oh, that's very pink. Sorry, I spent half of the late night lives lately just messing with these filters because they're fun. Yeah, we're gonna use that one, and I'm gonna drop that a little bit. It's grainy. It's very grainy, and my teeth are very glowy. What happens if I... Whoa. This is out of control. Nope, we don't want to change that one. Keep that one at 0. We're gonna write like that. That works. It is super grainy, but that's okay. Yep. Alright, let me grab another sheet of paper. And some of these papers, it's all the same paper. It all has the same watermark on it. But some of these papers, like I'm pretty sure this next one, are... See, you can see it's black. It's so interesting. It's all the same paper, but some of them are much more see-through than others. It's really weird. So this one looks completely different than the last one, even though it's legitimately the same paper. It makes absolutely no sense. I guess it's the, I don't know, quality control or super inconsistent in the factory, I guess. Same paper, but this one shows completely pitch black, which is curious. So it messes with my filter settings, because now what I set the last one to doesn't work anymore. Which is annoying. This is how we got the mermaid filter in the first place, because I had changed papers to this one. Whoops. My face looks crazy with this one. Nope. Oh wow, yeah, my face cam is super washed out. Alright, we're just gonna finish this page, and then I'm gonna call it a night because I also have to shower because I taught a dance class, and I'm still, well, I'm not sweaty anymore, I've dried off, but that's gross. I must have a shower. Etsy is ready. It'll take me a second to create the listing. I didn't create it prior to the live because I did not have time. That's true, Mush. That's very true. I am a sanitization commercial. Germs. Ooh, reflective snow surfer glasses. I wish I was wearing reflective snow surfer glasses. I don't have any of those. Howdy to the late night folk. Do I think someone can become proficient in both of them? Most definitely. I think learning the ability to focus on one at a time is important. So, and it's really just remembering. They are very different. Pointed pen scripts versus broad pen scripts. So that's like saying, could somebody be good at piano and painting? If you can learn piano and painting, you can learn pointed pen script and broad pen scripts. They're completely different. I think it's important to note if you're gonna dive into that type of a journey, you're in for a longer journey. It's gonna take twice as long to learn two different things, right? So you have to dedicate a lot of time and a lot of focus on not letting the two, because unlike piano and painting, they are still sitting posture writing on paper. So some of the parts bleed into each other, so you have to make sure that habits or techniques from one don't affect the other one. So when you're doing broad edge, you're only doing and only utilizing the training you have and the habits you've gained in broad edge. And when you do pointed pen, you only use those. And that's similar to doing like Spencerian versus engrosser script. When you do engrosser script, you gotta shut off all your Spencerian tendencies, and vice versa. When you do Spencerian, you gotta shut off your engrosser script tendencies. Otherwise, you shade all the time and things like that. So definitely possible, but it is it takes longer. But if you can fall in love with the journey, then it won't feel like it takes long at all, because you won't notice. You'll be too busy enjoying yourself. Fall in love with the journey. It can be, I mean, it's easier to just do one at a time. I always recommend not to start everything at once. I would focus on one thing until you feel rather confident with it. And then you can expand to other things. I don't think you have to stick to one thing until you're absolutely amazingly perfect at it, because none of us are absolutely amazingly perfect at anything. So that would just be a lot of time and being too hard on your art. Oh, that was a nice shade. You can't see the outline. It would have been nice. Darn it. I'll fill it in. Art should be fun. It's kind of a neat, eh? It's kind of interesting. Art should be fun, so why not have fun doing it? Spencerian ampersand. Is that what you want? There are a few. The one that I use most of the time for people looks like so. I'm assuming that's what you're asking. Spence and symbol. Which there's this one. Like so. That's a really thick shade. This shade's not always that thick. So that's one of them that is used, sort of like it's essentially a plus sign. I use that one most often when if I do commission work or things like that, because my favorite one often gets, people think it looks like a V. So, you know, with a Spencerian V, we shade the left side like so. Like that. Sorry, let me zoom in. Yeah, in Spencerian, we shade the left side. If we shade the right side, we get an ampersand. So we do it in reverse. Like so. I'm not as good at doing that shade in reverse. But ideally you want it to look like the opposite of the V shade. If I were to do one slowly, like that. That's my favorite of them. I just have to be cautious when I use it for people because it can be seen as a V instead of an ampersand. But it is my favorite of them. I'm not as good, as you can see, at making that shade going from right to left rather than left to right, like I'm used to. It requires a little bit more practice. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for me to go have dinner. Like I said before, as soon as this stream is over, I'm going to take a photo of the piece we did today, of the Lupfer quote, and I will post that up on my Etsy page. If anybody is interested in owning it, I will probably make more in the future, but this one's just a fun one. You get the exact one that I made on stream, so keep an eye out for that if you're interested. Thank you everybody for hanging out with me today and chatting with me and keeping me company. I do want to ensure that you are all falling in love with the process, because as I said earlier, I do feel like that is important. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that life should be just a bit of silliness, really. Good night, everybody. Have a good one. Sweet dreams when you get there.